constellations and conjunctions, today we take up the case of Mars and Saturn. Saturn and Mars, planets which are poles apart, or so they seem. Let us take a view of what Mars represents. As per Faldipika, chapter number 2, Mars represents energy. It represents work connected with kitchens and people who work near fire. It connects to the goldsmith, the people who work with weapons, thieves, etc. In form of substances, it connects with all those things that are found from within the earth. It relates to cruelty, it relates to siblings, it relates to courage, it relates to strength, it relates to the red color, it relates to pomegranates as fruits. It is the mental aptitude that one has in ability to grasp things. It relates to a person's attraction towards somebody else, somebody else's wife. It relates to injuries and as people, commanders also. It is also, when very beneficially placed, reflects to high qualities that a person has, the high amount of energy and exuberance a person shows in his or her life. Saturn, on the other hand, is Kala or time. It relates to longevity, fear, death, falling down from high places, or losing one's status in life, to be an outcast, fall sick, be insulted, bereft of happiness, or be full of sorrow, have a lot of problems in life, be poverty stricken, and have a bad name, so on and so forth. When the mind is impure and engaged in simple yet bad activities, impurity because of death of somebody else's, when the Saturn is good, when the Saturn is very well placed, this Saturn provides steadiness, it provides hard work, it provides the ability to share, it provides an attitude of dharma, or the ability to do what is right at the given moment. It is also about people, which are the masses. In the olden times, since farmers, people who were artisans, in case of pottery makers, servants, etc., fell in this category. In today's category, we can call the blue-collared people, forming the mass of Saturn and forming the class of Saturn. In animals, Saturn includes elephants, crows, and cuckoos. Now let us check out what the classics have to say for the combination of Mars and Saturn in a particular house. As per Saravali, a person with Mars and Saturn conjunction together will become a metallurgist, be expert in jugglery, will be deceitful, skillful a warrior, will also be fond of thieving or become a trained professional thief, be troubled by weapons and poison, and be fond of quarrels. As per Jatak Bharnam, such an yoga gives the person an ability to make weapons, be a skillful warrior, be a robber, be a liar, and unhappy. As per Jatak Parijata, if this conjunction happens at birth, then such a person would be disputatious, would be fond of music, and would be dull-witted. In the second house, this yoga is capable of giving various diseases. So far we have come to the conclusion that this, as per the classics, this yoga does give a person the ability to work with metals. We see a variation in the classics. This is so because the classics nowhere have specified when this is afflicted or when this is aspected by benefics. This is something that we need to take on from our own experience and by logic. So if this yoga is aspected by benefics, if this yoga is beneficially placed, then this yoga definitely gives a person engineering aptitude. Again, as I remind, when I would always say that in the olden times, the professions, the ability to expand in terms of work profession was so very limited. But in today's day and time, when we apply this conjunction, we would see that a various number of fields in engineering, in metallurgy would open up for people. This yoga also shows an ability of not just a thief, but also a person who is thief-like, rather a person who is the nemesis of the thieves, that is the spies, the detectives, the police, because they would also need to think like the thief or the robber to be able to catch them. This combination, when very beneficially placed or aspected by benefics, gives a person the ability to become a commander and also think like a thief so that he can bring about justice and peace in his kingdom or rather territory. As per Horasara, such a person suffers from bile or wind, but if it is placed in the 3rd, 6th, 10th, and 11th houses, this person gets a good command or a high position. 3rd, 6th, 10th, and 11th houses of the Patrika or the natal chart happen to be the Upachaya houses or the growth houses. Planets, especially malefics, have a tendency to grow and grow good in such houses. In such a case, this combination of two malefics tend to bring about a lot of prosperity to the person concerned. In the Lagna, this combination gives or rather ebbs longevity of the person concerned. His prosperity is shortened or rather curtailed and he does not have very strong relationships with his mother. However, this person is virtuous. He is good at warfare. He has the ability of a general if this is beneficially aspected. However, the above does not hold true if this combination takes place in Capricorn, for which the reasons are very obvious. In Capricorn Lagna, Mars gets exalted and aspects its own house, that of mother. Also, in case of Capricorn Lagna, Saturn is the Lagna Lord. So, apart from Capricorn, where these points of not doing well with mother or of the matter that the longevity of the person is curtailed and his prosperity is very much at question is not to be taken into account. In the 4th house, this conjunction does not allow friendships to prosper for the person. This conjunction also does not allow person too many comforts, even though a person may be born and brought up in comforts. We see this classic case of Dinah Austin. Dinah Austin came from a very affluent family. She was also very well taught, well read, and well established in her family. However, when she went in a 2-year program to Guatemala, she saw what poverty was from very close quarters. This brought about a lot of psychological changes within her, and she realized that affluence was not everything, or rather, she started having an intense dislike for the affluence that America portrays or has. She became a revolutionarist and she went about portraying herself in a very aggressive manner. She joined clubs, she joined societies which were very aggressive and against American standards of affluence. Her death was equally volatile. In fact, she was killed when she accidentally pulled up a pin from a grenade that she was making with her fellow revolutionists. Her Saturn is posited in the 4th house with Mars, which is in its own house of motherland. This Saturn is debilitated because they're placed in Aries. Saturn is also the 2nd lord of wealth, creating an intense dislike for wealth. Saturn is also the Lagna or the self, and Mars is also the mother and the motherland. We see this entire thing playing out in the sign of Aries or initiation, and it's a fire sign, death by fire or weapons. She was good at making weapons also. We would be taking up many such cases in the times to come, and following we would also be doing this series in continuation with Saturn and Mars conjunct. If you have any queries, do write to us and we will reply back as much as we can. Thank you for watching this series. Continue doing so. Till then, bye. Have a nice day.